Yo, what is poppin', my 420 army? It's your boy, the mighty Liam 420, and I'm putting out Bad Movie Rewrites Remastered Episode 2, obviously Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. Doing it in the same order we did before. Which hopefully I'll try to get Episode 3 before Indiana Jones 5 comes out. Because obviously, Episode 3 was Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, which will be the next episode. But either way, this Pirates film was shitty. And, yep, Pirates of the Caribbean has a steaming turd. Or a dud. Yep. So, I don't know. Tinkerbell has no good films. Pirates does have a dud, though. Because, I mean, Disney is a good company, but they obviously have a few duds. Like every other good film company, but either way, let's get started. So, basically the Spaniard finds a Spaniard played by Oscar, I forget his last name. He finds a body brought in from two soldiers who scoop it up in a net while fishing, and then the sailor dies after giving out possibly on with his dying breath when King Ferdinand takes a book from him. I forget which King Ferdinand it was at the time of this. I think it was about 3rd or 4th or the 6th. But I just wanted to put that in there for shits and giggles, because the guy, not really shits and giggles, but the guy was practically like drowning in the net. It's like, how did he not die if he was in there in the water for a while? It makes no sense. Or how is he still alive? They realize it's the Fountain of Youth, and Angelica, played by Penelope Cruz, drops down and grabs to steal the book. It actually, because they don't even show her grabbing the book in the film. I don't think they do. She just drops out of the ceiling, grabs it, like, mind if I borrow this? Yes, it's like, I know, I'm probably gonna get, you're probably thinking, Liam, do you use your video voice for every female and character you voice? And, well, no, by the way, you know I've already said it a million times, that's not actually what Vidya sounds like in Tinkerbell. It's just, I can't do what she actually sounds like, so the voice is more reminiscent of Marta from Outlast 2. But either way, back to the rewrite. So that's when Jack, played by Johnny Depp, he's still dressed up as the judge, because I thought that court scene was actually kind of funny, even though it is sort of, he tries to arrest, Gibbs is called as being a witness to Gibbs, played by Kevin McNally. He's called as a witness instead of them thinking he's Jack. It's like, dude, that is Gibbs. How do you not know what they look like? Get them together. Just however, Jack tries to save Gibbs instead of that whole trial scene. But Jack gets caught too. And then both he and Gibbs are taken to the palace, which, by the way, they keep the part where they're still talking in the carriage. It's like, yeah, because it's relevant to the plot, and then when they arrive at their Jack is brought in to see King George and handcuffed to a chair while Gibbs is taken elsewhere. I mean, in the Lego Pirates of the Caribbean video game I had, Gibbs was taken into the palace with Jack. But I decided, no, Gibbs should be taken somewhere else, so it's more convenient. So they can regroup with each other. And then, Barbossa, played by Jeffrey Rush, he comes in. When he comes, he still has we can keep his peg leg. He comes in with 2 crutches as opposed to just 1, which I know that might sound a little stupid, because if he has a peg leg, he would. But yeah. So King George, it's King George II, and he still comes in before Barbossa does, and Jack does not get his change removed by just making loud noises so he can easily escape. That was actually kind of dumb. Instead, he just have it where he smashes the chair on something. That's how I make it good. He smashes the chair on a few guards and gets himself up. And then Jack escaped and head out while being chased by soldiers and stealing a sword and flintlock pistol. Yeah, that, like he does in the Found movie, but then when Jack is outside, he just hijacks the carriage and steals it, because that woman, I forget who that woman was, I think it was Julie, what was her name? The woman that, you know what I'm talking about, who Jack robs. She honestly could have been written out of the movie entirely. Just have it where Jack steals the carriage, or even kicks out whoever's inside, or it could have been just been some random, or she could technically still be in it, but just like have her kick her out of the fucking carriage. And she's like, "Fuck you, Jack." Yeah, that'd be funny. Jack hijacks the carriage, and he begins riding away on it before he crashes into a sign and is almost shot by a guard. Meaning, like, he's riding the carriage, but then he ultimately, the horse breaks loose. And then he's like, oh shit, and crash right into a tavern, but nobody even notices the wreckage. And have Cat and Teague still shoot that guard. And then they head into a bar, and Jack is still talking with Teague and about the fake Jack Sparrow who's hiring, and Jack confronts Scrum, who, played by Stephen Graham, to tell him he's real. And that was stupid how Scrum just laughed, thinking that Jack forgot his own name.
You are made of stupid.
Yeah. Just be like, wait. So, no, having said where Scrum is like, wait, if you're Jack Sparrow, then who is that hiring us? So Jack then decides, I'm gonna find out who it is. And then that's when he finds Angelica disguised as Jack. Oh, I just gave away a spoiler. And then, okay. Jack fights the fake Jack, who is Angelica. Well, they're still they're still in the room, but then that's when, I got rid of, I kind of kept the zombies, but made where they're deformed humans instead. And I'll put a list in the description of all the deformed humans and all the changes that they have, but starting with the Quartermaster, he has blue skin instead of white, and he still has all deformities and tattoos on him. He's the same, just with blue skin. Gibbs is confronted by Barbosa alongside Theodore Groves, played by Greg Ellis, and Gillette, played by Damien O'Hare. They take the map from him and tie a noose. Yeah, because Gibbs saw the map on it, but I just wanted to have it where Groves and Gillette take it from him, or even two guards, because... So that way he can just, like, steal the map, throw it in the fireplace. Oh boy, I keep losing my place on this damn thing. Gibbs then runs and steals the map before throwing it. Barbosa is then forced to take Gibbs with him because he obviously memorized every map on there, every route on the map. Jack still wakes up on the Queen Anne's Revenge with Scrum, and they're forced to clean the ship alongside the cabin boy, Garhang, Salman, the cook, Derek, and Purser. And more deformed humans are on the ship to force him to work. And I forget the name of the person who does Gunner, but Gunner's also a deformed human. He's still or zombie. Zombies changed to a deformed human. He is still the same. The only difference is he now has purple skin instead of black. Okay, I'm probably gonna get like a bunch of comments saying, why are you making the zombies deformed humans and giving them like blue skin? And he's like, you gave Quartermaster blue skin and you gave Gunner purple skin. Because deformed humans are probably mythical creatures too, and they can have any skin color they want. I know, it's because there's actually mermaids in this film, and it's just trying to tease people, just to stop being all nitpicky about, because it's also kind of some controversy with The Little Mermaid, because obviously we all know that Halle Bailey was announced to be playing Ariel, and everyone went bananas over it, and it's like, how could they do this? This is unbelievable. It's like, guys, we don't even know how she's gonna act yet. And technically mermaids can have any skin color. They can have blue skin or purple skin. But I'll put a list in the description of all the other deformed humans and what other deformities that they have on them. Or what their skin colors are. And Jack goes around telling the other crew members about playing a mutiny that night. Which this was actually a deleted scene that I kind of put back in because I liked it, where basically Jack would go to a certain crew member, they'd say, tonight, and then it went all the way around a circle until it got to Jack again. So that's how he knew everyone knew about it. And then Barbosa is sailing the HMS Providence and tells Groves to bring Gibbs to the helm, which he does, and Gibbs points at the Spaniards sailing away, but they quickly pull away to avoid them. There was also another deleted scene here, but I technically kind of put back in, but technically Barbossa's crew still gets the Providence right to shoot at the Spanish crew, but I don't know, they don't. They just turn away to avoid getting shot, as opposed to being like, what the fuck? He never turned his head to look at us. Because it is, like, kind of pointless they didn't do it. It's like, why wouldn't he try to shoot them down if they're headed for the fountain's wall? So then Jack begins hiring everyone for the mutiny, and they begin getting swords ready and other weapons while fighting Quartermaster, Gunner, Yeoman, Master-at-Arms, Cushing, Mdongo, Chills, Blue Hugh, Flung Po, F-Troop, Swab, Ringo, Snoid, Pink Popeye, Crispy, Sketchy, and Voodoo. Those were all the other zombies that were originally had concept art but didn't make it in the final cut except for Master-at-Arms and Yeoman, but decided to throw them back in because why not, and give all of them have either pink skin or blue skin, so that would make Gunner the only deformed human with purple skin. I'll link in the description like which zombies have pink skin and which ones have blue skin. They defeat everyone until Blackbeard comes out aggressively and uses his sword to tie everyone up with the ship's rigging. Blackbeard, he's played by Ian McShane in this film, which some actors who were considered to play Blackbeard before Ian were Benicio del Toro. He could have technically been a good Blackbeard, and the other guy was Javier Bardem, who later did Salazar in Pirates of the Caribbean 5. Which, Ian McShane did do a decent job as Blackbeard, just the script should have made Blackbeard like more menacing. Have him come out and be like, what the fuck was all that noise? Did I hear a mutiny? But actually it was kind of cool. Just make it so his sword can still can like grab ropes and grab all the crew members, because they're kind of being punished for trying to take over the ship. And by the way, Quartermaster still gets Gunner still gets netted, and everyone else gets all tied up in that. So Philip Swift has also been freed in the mutiny along with Salman and Jack. Blue Hugh grabs him after approaching Blackbeard, and then Blackbeard uses his sword in the cook to turn him into a deformed human before taking Jack into his cabin, which they said, apparently the Pirates of the Caribbean wiki says that they didn't want to show the cook as a zombie on screen because it would be too scary for a Disney movie. It's like, oh come on, you've been pulling off scary stuff in your films since you pretty much started filming. Like, this goes all the way back to the original Snow White. Yeah, you can see my dog digging there. But it's like, come on, it's like, well, this movie's even PG-13, and those other animated films were meant for kids, though technically adults too, because Disney is not just for kids, it can be for all ages. Yeah. But anyway, Blackbeard then uses a knife on, Blackbeard, Angelica, Quartermaster, and the cook hold Jack with a knife at his throat and force him to help find the Fountain of Youth. They're like, alright, Jack, you have to help us find the Fountain of Youth in 2 months or 3 months. I know, I'm just kind of quoting Uncharted 4 here. It's like, I don't know, I didn't actually put it in the document, but I might change the time to how long Jack has to get Blackbeard to the Fountain of Youth, whether it be 3 months or whatever. But Barbossa is informed of about a ship headed for Whitecap Bay, which it was so funny when the sailor just jumps off. That can stay in the film. It was kind of funny. Even everything else that happened in that scene. And Jack spends time with Angelica on the deck and even shows him the Black Pearl in a bottle, which there was actually a deleted scene in this part where Jack said he stole a ring for Angelica. I don't know why it was kind of cut from the film. But basically, also I would make Blackbeard more caring about his daughter. If either Javier Bardem or Benicio del Toro got this role, they probably would have made Angelica Blackbeard's husband, because Fun fact, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz are actually married to each other, so it probably would have worked there. But Ian McShane is like E now, so that's probably why they made Angelica Blackbeard's daughter, because of how old he is. I mean, yeah, he probably would have been like 69, but when they arrive at Whitecap, the revenge soon arrives at Whitecap Bay, and a team is set out to look for mermaids when they light the water from a tower, which, yeah, that's obviously convenient for them how to catch the mermaids. Mermaids go over to the boat and start attacking it, but soon go to shore when the light hits it. They even go to the shore, and Jack blows up the tower to scare them off. So basically everything would still be kind of the same. I'd still have the part where they're all on the boat, and then Gunner holds the gun to Scrum, and he starts singing, and Tamara shows up, and then that's when they start attacking, because that's kind of relevant to catch a mermaid. And then Jack still blows up the tower, and he sends Serena flying into a trap, because that whole love story with Philip and Serena is totally pointless. Which, trust me, when I was working on the script for this, I was trying to figure out how to get Will and Elizabeth in here, but I couldn't think of anything as to how to get them in here, so I decided, yeah, so maybe that's why Orlando Bloom and Keira Knightley didn't want to come back for this movie, because the writers couldn't think of a script to get Will and Elizabeth. And this scene, like when Barbossa and his crew arrived the following morning in the province to attack the mermaids, that's probably like the only scene in the film that made me laugh, when the mermaids are attacking the province and kill everyone on there, while Barbossa is just forcing Groves, Gillette, Gibbs, and everyone else to just stay on the shore. It's like, yeah, they're already dead. We don't want to go suffer the same fate as them. That's how... Because Barbossa even pulled out a pistol to get them moving. And Blackbeard's crew are moving through jungles and reach a waterfall where Quartermaster throws Jack off the cliff. It's like, yes, have Quartermaster just grab Jack like this and then throw him. That's so much better than the stupid voodoo doll they use, which that was just totally pointless. And even a totally pointless game of Russian roulette, where Blackbeard tries to kill Angelica. It's like, no, that is just retarded. I don't want to see that. It's like, and technically make it where Jack drops his compass, so that way they can follow it for Blackbeard. And Jack's compass is also taken from before he's thrown. And Jack finds Ponce de Leon's ship after swimming for a while. It's like, wait. In one scene, it was day when Jack first finds the ship, but then by the time he climbs up to it, it's night. It's like, did the writers forget that? Or did the script just have a typo that was never fixed? It's like, how is it day when Jack first finds the ship, but by the time he climbs into it, it's already night? And then, he runs into Barbossa, and the two of them find the Chalice's box empty. And Barbossa then tells Jack the story of the Black Pearl being captured, and a flashback is shown. Because there was no flashback, I kind of wish they did this so I could see as to who survived the attack and who didn't. Because, I mean, obviously Marty, Murdoch, and Mulroy, those guys, they came back in Pirates 5, but Marty kind of looked the same, so I recognized him at first, but Murdoch and Mulroy, they look completely different from how they did in Pirates 1 and Pirates 3. So that's why it was hard for me to recognize them at first. So they could have shown the flashback where, like, Barbossa says, "We were off the coast of Hispaniola when we came under attack, and they were peppered with cannon fire." It just shows, like, cannonballs come flying, shooting the Pearl, and Cotton, who's a member from the first 3 films, have him getting killed. Yeah, I just want to know that Pintel and Rigetti survived the attack, so that's why I'm going to put it in. That's why I put it in here, so that it's shown that they also survived, but they're probably just on a different crew. And we'll have it cut back to present day cut back to Barbossa telling the story to Jack, when Barbossa pulls out a sword to cut off his leg. We don't need to have it like that scene from the first Saw movie where he cuts his foot off. That'd be a little too gruesome for a PG-13 film, but either way, Jack and Barbossa do not get tied up. It's like, how did that even happen? And Blackbeard's men start using torture techniques to get a tear from Serena, which they do, but they tie her up. It's like, no, we do not need to, because I completely axed the love story with Philip and Serena. So, I don't know. Even though I hated this mission, but I obviously didn't have, like, maybe just, like, whacking her with, like, wood, trying to get her to cry. It's like, yeah, or maybe that's just a little too fucked up. Like, just a woman getting, like, brutally tortured and abused. I don't know, it's just... I was trying to get the love story out, so that's why I only came down to this. So anyway... Jack and Barbossa, along with Barbossa's men, raid the Spanish camp and steal the chalices before leaving. Because technically, all of Barbossa's men are kind of fighting, taking out a few Spanish, and this part also made me laugh when Barbossa says, I won't be going back, and then Jack pulls out the chalices and says, no need, shall we have a drink? And then Barbossa says, we'll drink at the fountain. Actually, that line was kind of funny too. I'm surprised this one's gotten much shorter than my Cars 2 rewrite, because even though this movie is longer, it's because I'm probably making like less changes to this one than I did with the Cars 2 rewrite. Because unfortunately there are... So then meets up with Blackbeard. They reach the fountain entrance, which by the way, that scene where Jack and Gibbs are talking with Blackbeard, that can stay with Gibbs holding the pig on the rope. That was too funny. So either way, when they get in the cave, I might cut out the part where Salaman breaks off a little sharp thing and it kills another Queen Anne's Revenge member. That was kind of dumb. So anyway, when they reach the fountain entrance, Jack manages to get everyone in. It's like, we had to go through a totally pointless gag of Jack clinging to chalices twice. Instead, have them be like, how are we supposed to get in? It's a dead end, but then he sees the two chalices, he reads Aqua de Vida. They get sucked up, and they make it to the fountain. Yes, not as many changes because it still had some good action scenes, but just make this final battle more epic. So make it where Barbossa's men, the British Marines, the Queen Anne's Revenge crew, and the Spanish all show up at the same time and a three-way battle breaks out between everyone. And there's no way they would have heard Jack. Or technically, like, even before they start fighting, Jack is like, how about we just sit back and watch and have some drinks? Because it's like, how would they even hear Jack? Or no, get rid of that. Where the only person who agrees to it is Scrum. Just have it where Jack is trying to steal the chalices from Angelica, and then Scrum eventually joins in. Well, all three of the armies are fighting each other, yes. Yes. Cars 2 Rewrite, you have a 5-way battle for the ending, and Pirates of the Caribbean is a 3-way battle. That's how you make fight scenes more epic. Because, I mean, not that the scene was epic enough as it was, but unfortunately I don't like the way Gillette was killed so easily. Make it where he's grabbed by Blue Hugh and then rips off his head. But you could technically... No, I wouldn't really have it where then Blue Hugh just throws Gillette's headless body on the ground. Actually, yeah, just place it on the ground. We don't need to have his body falling onto Barbossa while he's fighting Blackbeard. And Barbossa doesn't get his crutches broken either. Instead of when Blackbeard grabs one, he just whacks Blackbeard right in his fucking forehead. Yeah, like, I don't know, but either way, most of the Spanish are killing Barbossa So basically, Philip still gained freed and slashed by one of Barbossa's men. Actually, Philip does not get wounded during the battle. So he technically decides, yeah, I'm just gonna free Serena. So he still runs out there, and I still keep Scrum, Angelica, and Jack fighting for the chalices in the tier. Most of the Spanish are killed, and Barbossa stabs Blackbeard, but Angelica is... Which, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention this, but Barbossa still poisons his sword with the toads. And make it where, instead of Groves trying to claim the Fountain of Youth for King George, make it where he jumps in front of the Spaniard, but he's like, oh no you don't, but then the Spaniard's just pulls out a gun, shoots Groves right in the face. It was a little kind of dumb just sniping him. Philip slips out, yeah. But either way, everything still is kind of the same. Groves and Gillette's bodies are carried away, and then... Oh yeah, also the Spanish do not destroy the fountain. They end up fleeing after most of the men die. But then... Jack quickly manages to get the chalices filled, and then gives them to Blackbeard and Angelica. And oh yeah, also the prophecy that Blackbeard would be killed by a one-legged man doesn't get revealed until now, when they're fighting at the fountain. And it's kind of when Blackbeard and Barbossa are arguing with each other, that's when the prophecy gets revealed. Instead of what they actually did, where they revealed the prophecy way too early, and that's what doomed Blackbeard from the start. And that's why Blackbeard is the weakest Pirates villain. So I'll probably do a Pirates of the Caribbean tier list and rank all the villains, but Blackbeard is the least favorite Pirates villain. But obviously number one favorite Pirates villain for me is Davy Jones. We all know that. He's a milestone of the channel. So then... Serena leaves, and Philip is happy that he saved Serena, and just tries to find a way off the island. And Jack still leaves Angelica on a fortified beach, which some people thought that the island was Rum Runner's Isle from Pirates 1, because that was the island that Barbossa left him on, that Barbossa marooned Jack on in Pirates 1, with Elizabeth. Rum Runner's Isle, or Smuggler's Den as it was called in LEGO Pirates of the Caribbean video game. But nope, it's Fortified Beach. A completely different island. And that scene where he tries to kiss Angelica and then just leaves, make it where Angelica is actually happy that Jack saved her. She's like, thanks for saving me, Jack. If only the years weren't stolen from my own father. Sucks he was the only victim here. But then Jack just moves around the island anyway, and she's like, dude, what the fuck? And then leaves him. Because that was kind of funny. Even because regardless of whether or not Angelica is happy about Jack saving her life, it's still silly. And Barbossa still becomes the captain of the Queen Anne's Revenge. Which, by the way, Garhang, Salaman, Cabin Boy, and Purser died. The other survivors, they didn't come back in Pirates 5 because they probably abandoned the crew once they arrived in Tortuga, because that's where Barbossa was headed. So by the way, Jack still meets up with Gibbs on the island, and it's when they start figuring out how to get the pearl out of the bottle, which they surprisingly hadn't done yet, and it was still in the bottle in Pirates 5. Which it's like, 5 takes place a year after this one, and it's like, they still never got the pearl out. Because that was one of my predictions going into 5, is that they're probably going to find a way to make the Black Pearl large again, which they did. So obviously, they decided how to get the pearl out of the bottle, which them still talking with like the goats and all that is still kind of funny. And yeah, and also the after credits scene would also be slightly changed too, with Angelica finding something else that's not a voodoo doll. Instead, she's just kind of working out on the island just to make sure she can escape. Oh, I could actually make it where she doesn't waste her pistol shot trying to kill Jack when he's leaving, instead of trying to signal for a ship, like Jack even suggested. And wait. Hold on. How did... This movie's 136 minutes long, and 10 minutes shorter than my Cars 2 reel, which was 40 minutes long, and that movie was 111 minutes long. Wow. Well, probably because I was throwing more images in with Cars 2 and even added, like, more depth and story to it to make it expand. Well, probably because I didn't have to expand the story as much on this one as I had to do Cars 2, so maybe that's why. Just to fill in some of the holes. But yeah, that's basically it for this film, and I'll see you in my next episode, which is Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull for Bad Movie Rewrites, because, again, the new Indiana Jones film, Dial of Destiny, is coming out in June of this year, even though you're probably not seeing it till February, because I'll have to edit it and put in all like the changes and stuff of what I would do. And yeah, let me know in the comments how you would fix Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides, and how you would come up with a story to get Will and Elizabeth in if you could, because again, I obviously couldn't think of a story to get them in there, but let me know if you actually came up with one that features Will and Elizabeth and how you'd get them in. And I did find out that Pintel and Rigetti were supposed to be in this one, but they were scrapped, which hopefully if they ever do make a Pirate 6, they come back in it and then they're confirmed. I just want to know that Pintel and Rigetti survived the capture of the Black Pearl like Marty, Murdoch, and Mulroy did. So, yeah. That's it for this video, so please like, comment, share, sub, and peace.